What we have here is a small balcony, and I'll show you what the problem with this one is. So we have the artificial grass laid on decking, and the decking is sitting in puddles of water. Not only does it rot, but there's also problems with the drainage, so the water overflows from the balcony instead of going to the outlet. And this is a new build. This is fairly fresh, and the decking's already rotten. So we're going to replace the decking with a concrete slab system on the adjustable packers, and then we're going to put the fake grass on top, and we're going to adjust the outlets, and we're going to waterproof the balcony as well. And there's another one out the back. So we have a timber frame sitting on the bucket membrane, and it's leveled by slates. Yeah, the felt membrane should never ever have permanently ponding water the way it has here. Never. This system is just simply not designed for it. So before we had a timber frame decking, and now we're going to replace it with the plastic adjustable packers. So now we just have to establish what packers we need, and by the looks of it, they must be around 100 mil. Yep. So in terms of drainage, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get rid of this foot and make sure this lashes straight into the pipe below, not goes onto the balcony, because that's a problem in itself. And then we're gonna follow the waterproofing from here all the way to the top of this aluminium. This is all a wrong design, so the only thing that we can do is follow the system all the way on the top. That will make sure that the water will never overflow, even if the slabs are fitted right on top of it. The water will never go in there. Okay, we have everything exposed, so now we're going to power wash this balcony. So we're gonna lift the flashings, because our system is gonna go under the flashings. Sometimes we tape over the flashings, but we're not gonna do it in this situation. So yeah, there you go. As I mentioned, there are two balconies, so this is the second one. And this problem here is much greater. As you can see, the water is overflowing on the balcony and damaging the render as a result. So we're gonna have to lift everything, sort out the drainage issues, waterproof it, clean this back here, and we're also gonna spray it with the ATM 007, which is the moss and algae killer. So it's gonna solve the problem of this moss. And I can tell that there have been problems here before, because we have one type of felt. There's a mineral felt used at the edges, and there's some other liquid solution here. So somebody has been messing with this already. And so the problem of the water overflowing, somebody has been trying to manage this by, look, the water was leaking on the beam, and this is a silicone bead. It was made as a water management solution, so the water doesn't overflow here in that very spot. Yeah. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna apply this sticky tape over here, from half of this aluminium bar to here. So if any water wants to fall from the slabs into that gap, that's gonna prevent it. We have the balcony clean and dry. And by clean, I mean spotlessly clean. And by dry, I mean like that it's so dry that you wouldn't find a drop of water on the balcony. And this is the moment where we start with waterproofing works, okay? So what we've used here is the super quick primer, and we applied it onto this aluminium or stainless steel, because we're gonna bring the system from here to there. It's just gonna be made with a tape, so it's not gonna be very sturdy, but all we have to do is catch the little bit of water that falls in here from the slabs, make sure that it doesn't flood the ceiling below. And one of the biggest problems with the other system was the fact that it was very hard to maintain. And let me give you an example. So the previous system was finishing here. You had the timber frame, and then you had the decking screwed on top, one complete frame, okay? But look at inside there. So what we have here is a 4-inch pipe going into square 3-inch pipe. And that creates problems, because if any leaves, all it takes is 3 leaves to go there at the same time, and that will block it, okay? And there's no way to access it whatsoever. But with the system that we're gonna install, all you have to do is lift one of the slabs, have a look. If there's blockage, unblock it, boom, that's it. That shouldn't be here from the start, okay? It should be one continuous 4-inch pipe. But there's no way you can do with it right now other than make it accessible for service. Same here. We're gonna have to cut this foot about here, so make sure that the water actually goes straight into that pipe instead of flooding the balcony for no reason. We're using a couple of different waterproofing systems. This one is silicone based, and generally it's a 1-coat system, assuming that we're going directly onto felt. But here we have some sort of a liquid solution that somebody used it as a flash in here. So in order to go over this, we're gonna have to use a primer. So we're using the super quick primer. This one will be set in about 15 minutes. Okay, so behind this there's a gap, and we're using this sticky tape, and we are sticking it halfway through this stainless steel. Now this was previously primed. Now we're sticking this, and we are following with the system on top. And we have here 2 different types of tape. So here we have the sticky tape that we use for the likes of this, or flashings, or any vertical. And here we have the 66S tape, which is applied with the wet on wet. So we apply a bit of the material, then we put the tape on it, on the joints, and then we finish with a bit of material. So all the joints, all the overlaps, any points that could potentially leak in the future are taped with the tape, and then membrane is applied over the top. So basically, if you could imagine standard waterproofing systems like felt, TPO, EPDM, any single ply membranes come in rolls. So you basically cut it into size and you glue it on the roof. With this one, it's like assembling it on site. Because it's liquid applied, you will have one complete membrane across the entire roof that has no bad points that can leak. That's why it's a very good product to be using on flat roofs, balconies, especially balconies. We have this rag here because there's occasional drops of water coming down from this, and once that touches the roof you can't coat, so even the smallest details like a drop of water can affect the quality of the system. One section of the balcony, the felt on it, it's actually butchered, and when they were fixing the decking, I think the screws went through the membrane. So in that corner, what we're gonna use is this matting. This is the same matting that they would use with a fiberglass roof. It's actually fiberglass, so we would use that in combination with the system. So I'm gonna cut a few slices of it, and we're gonna embed it in the area where it's the worst. You could apply it across the entire membrane, but generally we only use it in the bad areas because there's no reason to have it if the felt is actually in good condition. So here we have that matting, and it only has to go in that very corner. So now as we stand, we have all the joints, all the overlaps, all the upstands, everything is nicely taped. It's already waterproof as it is. So we're gonna apply the matting in that corner, apply one heavy coat overall, and then we're gonna come back tomorrow and start fitting the slabs on the suspended packers. The suspended packers have to be adjustable from 60mm to 100mm, and then we're gonna be able to follow them all the way to the glass, and it's not gonna leak water into that very gap because we got rid of the gap. The gap doesn't exist anymore. So the system will be non-biodegradable, almost maintenance free, and we get rid of the decking, so the problem is literally solved. Because previously we had the fake grass which was stopping the breathability. So not only did you have puddles of water underneath the decking, there was no way of air to ventilate the area, so you were getting a smell, and mushrooms were actually growing on the wood, so we got rid of all that. As you can see, before the water was leaking in that very gap, and the water was spreading across here. And the problem at the back of the house is even worse than this, but it's all solved now. All of this was green here. We power washed it now. We still have to spray it with the ATM 007, and that's gonna get rid of this. The lads will now jump onto the next balcony on the other side of the house. I'm not going to record anything there because it's exactly the same. And I'm going to go to the builders, merchants, and I'm going to get a couple of samples for the client of the slabs. We have concrete slabs. We have concrete slabs with yellow finish. I think there's a granite finish as well. So we're going to bring 3 samples. Yep. And this is the second balcony, and it's exactly the same as the front one. So what we have is the artificial grass laid on decking. Yeah, not a good design whatsoever. You can see permanently ponding water underneath, which is just rotting the wood and smelling as a result. So yeah, everything out, and we're gonna use the non-biodegradable system, which is the liquid silicone, doesn't biodegrade, and then we're going to use the plastic packers and the concrete slabs, and then you can have the grass on top. And here we have the second balcony, and as you can see, I think there's a flashing missing on the outside, but this is just a visual aspect. The problem is when the water overflows on the balcony, you have a constant drip of water. That's why all this green is here. So we're gonna eliminate the overflow of water. We're gonna try power wash this very gently, because this is monocush, if I'm correct. I'm not sure, but it's a very fragile plaster. It's not sand and cement. And then we're gonna power wash this at the end. We have the slabs loaded between the 2 balconies. So there was 110 slabs. It's 8:30 and we're already done. That's because we brought all the teams. That we have 1, 2, 3, 4 vans here. All the other lads are going off now, and 2 boys will stay here and lay the slabs on those adjustable packers. So everyone will adjust to the right height. There you go. And you sit the slabs on them so the water can flow underneath the slab system. And if you ever need to inspect it, all you have to do is lift one of them slabs. As you can remember, before you had a timber frame and then you had decking on top of it. So now we're replacing it with this system. So these are adjustable. they are adjusting from 60 mil to 100 mil, and this is the way they're fitted. So you have plenty of room underneath for the drainage. Before you had a timber frame which was sitting constantly in water and it was stopping the flow as well. They're not cheap, they're about €5 each. They're made in Italy. Good stuff. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So that's the idea. Plenty of drainage room underneath the slab system, and any water that falls on the slabs, like before you had the decking and the decking was finishing here, but then you had this big gap in here, so any water that was following through the grooves was ending up in that very channel. So now we'll eliminated that by following the system all the way to the glass, and the slab system is starting right from the top. There's a stainless steel edge here, so we're starting the slab right from the start. The balcony is nearly finished. All we have to do is some cuts around the edges, and then we can roll out the fake grass that the client has requested, but we're gonna have it only at the middle, not all the way to the edges. That's the balcony finished. We have the artificial grass in the middle as requested by the client. And now if there is any blockages in the drains, all you have to do is pop one of these and have a look. Yeah. Here we have the other balcony. This is a nice tile. This is the slate finish. It's twice as more expensive than the standard concrete, but it looks nice. Because the water was continuously overflowing from the balcony, all this wall is green and discolored. We power washed it gently, but now what we're doing is we're applying the ATM 007 color restorer and moss killer. So this will bring this surface back to life. It's like the cherry on top of a cake. It'll take about a week and a half, and the rain will wash all the dirt.